Hello, hello, hello. For most of you, happy Friday. For others of you that watch these workouts, happy whatever day it is you're doing it. When you're ready, we're going to get a nice good warm up on today. We have, so this can be kind of the opposite of Monday's workout where we had the biceps, triceps, shoulders, and we had all the other things. Today is going to be more of the static exercises per se. So we're going to do biceps, triceps, shoulders differently from Monday, but we'll also do our static per se quads, hammies, calves when you get there. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we need to get to work. I want to get really warmed up today. So let's go. We have our squats with our standing scissors. We have our lunges with our standing runners. And we have our agility and our mobility to finish off that warm up, which we've done before. 10 regular squats. Done this so many times. Hips, hips, hips. Glutes right here. Think about those good strong muscles, eyes, good posture, good breathing. And remember, when I say that word thighs, it's a reminder. Legs are working, not your back. I know it sounds corny, but people can get a little backy on squats. 10 regular squats, 10 standing scissors. Lengthen those muscles that you sit on, squat with, lunge with, and sometimes get kicked in when you haven't done your job. 10 standing scissors. We're going to do standing scissors 3 consecutive times with their squats. We've done this warm-up before. 10 regular squat, 10 standing scissors, 10 wide squats. If it feels like the energy kind of jumped into the workout, I kind of understand. I want to give you guys that energy and a nice, good, higher intense warm-up. The circuits per se will be slower, again, the opposite of Monday in some ways. 10 wide squats, 10 standing scissors again. My challenge to you, because you're going to do this whenever time you're doing it, is exaggerate the motion a little bit. It's one thing to just do the motion. It's another thing to exaggerate the motion. Make it a little bigger and better and stronger. 10 wide squat, 10 standing scissors, 10 narrow squats, and you do one more set of those standing scissors. Hips, right? They move a ton. Well, your hips have so many connections. Glutes are there, hamstrings connect, quads connect, your back connects, your abs connect, right? Hips require a lot of motion, right? A lot of muscle attached to them. Lots of good things happen when you move them. 10 narrow squats, 10 standing scissors for the last time this circuit. We're going to have a little exertion to do between our circuits today so we can elevate the heart rate between our circuits versus in our circuits. After those 10 narrow squats, 10 standing scissors for the last time, 10 stationary reverse lunges. You've done this a lot. Step, load, pull yourself up. I know a lot of people hear the word low. I want you to hear and feel the word load, L-O-A-D. Load that front non-moving leg. 10 stationary reverse lunges, 10 standing runners. A little bit more mobility on a standing runner versus a standing scissor. A little more joint movement on a standing runner versus a standing scissor. Abs, core, breathing, rotation, activation. 10 on your stationary reverse lunges, 10 on your standing runners. You've got 10 on your alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. You'll have your 10 standing runners again. Breathe and focus. Breathe and focus on your alternating, balancing, which I'm not doing a very good job of, coordinating, lengthening, right? So many words. You guys miss my wall, right? So many words. Stiff-legged deadlifts encompasses a lot of those things. After those 10 stiff-legged deadlifts, 10 standing runners again. You've heard the phrase, elbows to knees, not knees to nose, but I want that exaggerated motion. The bigger, the better. Lots of good things will happen when you get really warm. After the stiff-legged deadlifts and standing runners, you're on your stationary forward lunges, and you'll do your standing runners one more time. Again, between our circuits today, we're going to crank it up Monday, we had bis, tris, shoulders with a fair amount of reps. You had legs, you had agility, you had plyometrics or mobility. Wednesday was 2 chest back circuits, lots of other things. 10 stationary forward lunges, your standing runners for the third and last time. Motion, mobility, activation. I hope the heart is beating a little bit faster than earlier. I hope you're breathing a little bit more in and out from earlier. Hopefully you feel that temperature rising in your body. After your 10 stationary forward lunges and your 10 on your standing runners, you've got your 10 high knees, 10 butt kicks, 10 jumping jacks. You'll lay on the ground for 3 more. So a smidge of a rhythm change. 10 high knees. It isn't very much, right? High knees, 10 revolutions or walking reps. You've got your 10 butt kicks. Again, running revolutions, walking reps. I didn't say go faster, you're just doing quicker things. 10 high knees, 10 butt kicks, 10 jumping jacks or walking jacks. Again, heart rate's going up, temperature's increasing, you're getting warm. We've done these things before. You're breathing, that's the intent. You'll get on the ground for your 10 scissors, the ab version. And of course, it's a little slower than that agility just was. You'll have your 10 ab runners and your 10 core swimmers. And this will be the end of your warm-up. And the intent was we actually got really warm. 10 ab scissors, legs straight, arms straight. 10 ab runners, again, elbows to knees. You can come from the ground and have that concentric motion. You can come from the up, even though it's still considered a concentric exercise. You could focus on the eccentric component of the exercise. Again, slow these things down. 10 scissors, 10 runners, 10 swimmers. Upper back, middle back, lower back, glutes, mobility of hips and spine. You could be on your hands and knees. You could be laying on your stomach. You might get more contraction when you lay on your stomach. If you think about like muscle shortening contraction, whereas on the hands and knees with the motion, mobility, balance, you might get more activation. Things are turning on. Both are good for you. Again, scissors, runners, swimmers. You're going to get your space ready. There's no rush to be ready as you get to this point. We have 3 circuits. Again, it's going to sound kind of similar to Monday, but again, the opposite feel. We have our biceps. I'm going to formally change them. We've done them before. 3 different motions done twice. We're going to have our calves this circuit. The next circuit will have our 3 different triceps done twice. We're going to have our quads, and then we're going to have shoulders with our hamstrings at the end. And hamstrings can also be glutes. Between our circuits, we're going to crank it up a little bit. Now, I know we did biceps on Monday. Remember, I know this. Set 1 is 15 hammer curls. Okay? Stand tall on your hammer curls. Your hands are neutral, not necessarily narrow. 15 hammer curls. And I'll talk about your calves in a second. The circuit could feel a little bit short because calves don't take too long. You don't have to get on and off the ground, which potentially you might need to do that later on, right? 15 hammer curls. We'll have our 3 different biceps done twice, which means we'll have 2 different numbers of the biceps. So it's not a rep progression, it's an exercise progression. After your 15 hammer curls, weight is optional on your calves, and your calves are always going to be 30. Again, it should sound like Monday. Well, 5 sets of 30 calves is kind of mean. You could do leg straight calves, whether you're standing on something or not. You could go to your stairwell, you could stand on the 2x4, you could stand on the curb outside your front door. You could have your feet regular width, right shoulder width, You can have your feet wide. You're doing 30, so if you want to get started, you can. You can have your feet narrow. I know it's corny, but I hear it all the time. You can have your toes in or toes out. It doesn't make that big of a difference unless you're competing for calves. You could sit against the wall and do wall sits and do seated calves. You could hold weight or not. So on your calves today, it's always going to be 30. They don't take that long to do. And remember, you can mix up the feet width. You can mix up how your toes point in or out. You can stand on the edge of something or not. You can make them really heavy, holding a lot of weight. Your calves are always 30, which gives you a little bit of a hand and arm break for your biceps. Round 1 was 15 hammer curls, 30 on your calves. Round 2 is 8 hammer curls. Maybe you go heavier, maybe you don't. When you're at the gym, right, you stand in front of the dumbbell rack. Round 1 is 1 weight. Round 2 is hopefully a heavier weight. When you're at home, if changing weight is too big of a pain in the butt, don't worry about it. And if you can't change weight, just slow down the 8. It doesn't need to be super slow, but slow it down a little bit. Round 2, 8 on your hammer curls, always 30 calves. We're going to focus a little bit more on the calves, right? So I'm holding weight in my right hand, but I'm doing both legs. You could, if you want to, do 15 right leg and 15 left leg, right? You can mix up how you do it. Notice I'm not standing on something, but please feel free to stand on the edge of something, hopefully something solid, 2x4, a weight plate, curb, stairs. It could be really heavy, it could be not really heavy. You can play around with your feet, right? So I want to focus more on the calves because you have 5 sets of 30. It's 150 calves. Later on, when we do our triceps and our quads and our shoulders and our hamstrings or glutes, right, we'll have a smidge of a different number. Today's numbers are pretty simple. Round 2 was 8 hammer curls, 30 calves for the second time. It's okay if you're not there. Round 3 is 15 hammer curl with a twist. Remember, we've done these things. You do need to have 2 pieces of equipment for the hammer curl with a twist, like dumbbells. Kettlebells you can, just be careful how the weight flips on you. Bar you really can't. Bands, again, you can, but just be careful so the band doesn't snap on your cabeza. TRXs, again, you don't have that motion. You can do biceps, you just can't change the angle of them. 15 hammer curl with a twist. You do have 2 main bicep brachii. You also have a brachioradialis. So you do have 3 parts to a bicep curl, if you will. Round 3, 15 hammer curl with a twist. Remember, I hope I'm a little bit ahead of you. Always 30 calves. I would either like you to find something else to stand on so you change your overall motion. I would like you to play around with the width of your feet. Regular, wide, narrow. Again, try the toes in and toes out. It's not magical, but it does change muscle activation. But it really is meant for people that really focus on the aesthetics of their calves. And again, seated position works your soleus muscle, the underneath calf, whereas the straight leg calf is your gastroc, the bubble, the one that you can see. So always 30 calves. We've actually done them a touch more the last couple weeks because of feedback. I got a lot of feedback that we had a calf workout a couple Fridays ago, and about a dozen people reached out saying, we don't do those very often, and I'm really sore. Round 3 was 15, hammer with a twist, 30 calves. Round 4 is 8, hammer curl with a twist. Again, you'll be on your 4th set of 30 calves. Remember, if you find yourself needing to push pause, don't be discouraged, right? Some of these can be quick for people. Some of these can take a while for people. For those that come in the gym and do them on their own, remember there's more tools and adjustments, and they might have to grab, different weights along the way. So again, if you need to push pause, cool. It's not a green light to going crazy fast. Let's do it, and let's do it right. Round 4, 8 hammer twists. Again, you're going to be on your 30 calves. Change something on the calves. Feet super narrow. You could mix up the right hand weight, the left hand weight. You could do a right arm, right leg. You could do a left arm, right leg. Right? You could mix up your hands as you wish. So many little changes go a long ways. Calves are always 30. It's a short motion. We've been using that word tempo a lot the last couple weeks. So calves, I do on a low tempo, but the overall motion is shorter versus, let's just say, the bicep curl, right? We're doing biceps and calves. Your bicep motion is way bigger, 170 degrees of motion, almost 180, right? Calves, right? You don't have that much motion. Maybe 85, 90. Depends on what you're doing. Again, round 4 is 8 hammer twist, 30 calves. It's okay if you're not there. Round 5 is 15 open wide. Now the tools could change. You could go to do a bar, right? If you've been doing dumbbells the whole time, you could grab your bar, your TRX, if you have a TRX. That's an easier open hand position versus hammers and hammer twists. Kettlebells, again, be careful, right? You can be open easier on a kettlebell, but that kettlebell does flip on you a little bit, or falls on you. You got bands, like you could do a bar or a rope with a cable here. 15, open, wide, biceps is round 5. It's okay if you're not there. You'll be on your last set of your 30 calves, but you do have the one more set of 8 open wides when you get there. These circuits they all have the same pace, the same tempo per se. Biceps and calves, we'll have our triceps and quads and our shoulders and our hamstring glutes. And between the circuits, we're just going to turn the dial up a little bit. Add a touch of pace, if you will. Fitness. Again, calves. I know it's corny that we're focusing on them so much. Ankle motion only. You play with where your feet are. Seated, straight-legged, right? Knees bent or straight-legged. Regular, wide, narrow feet. Toes in, toes out. Right leg only, left leg only. Heavier or not. I know it's corny, but 150 calves a day. Everybody should be somewhat sore, or at least feel that you did calves tomorrow, and maybe even the next day. So round 5 was your 15 open wide with your last set of 30 calves. Your last set is 8 open wide biceps, 8. And I'll talk about how we crank up the stuff here in a second. 8 open wide biceps to end your circuit. Remember, I got to talk about the next thing anyways, so you can get caught up as you need to. Keep going, you guys, getting our timer ready. Oh, timer. No rush. Finish this thing strong. You have the 5 sets of 30 calves, hopefully subtle changes along the way, and the biceps are nominal. We'll be doing those similar numbers on our triceps and our shoulders, right? Very simple 2 movement or 3 different movements done twice to go with our calves, our quads, and our hammies, glutes. We have 3 minutes of work. Well, what the heck can you do? I don't really want lunges. I don't mind if you do squats. You've got your agility, you've got plyometrics, you've got mobility, and you can also do abs, okay? Because during your 3 minutes, I want you to work. We have 3 of the circuits we just did, so we're not working that hard. When you're ready, I'm going to push the timer. And of course, hopefully you can all pause and catch up and push the timer. 3 minutes. I'm gonna dabble through everything. I don't really want lunges. Squats are okay. Agility, plyometrics, mobility, and abs are your choices. Ready? 3 minutes. Set, go. I'm gonna start with some agility. You've got your high knees. We did some earlier. Doing high knees for 3 minutes would be interesting. I did talk about it on Monday. High knees is literally that. Get your knees and feet up. Running in place is not high knees. So if you choose this, get your knees up. You got butt kicks. Again, we've talked about it. Look at my angle, right? You got to kick your butt. I see a lot of people that just lift their foot. Kick your butt. These are great cardio tools. I forgot to mention, you could go do cardio for 3 minutes if you wanted to. But I want you to crank it up a little bit. So if walking on the treadmill is what you want, cool. But let's turn it up a little bit. All right, you got your jumping jacks. We're still in the agility category. You got your bench taps or ball taps, right? Again, agility. Monday we had ski hops. Again, agility. It starts touching on plyometrics because of the impact. You just don't have a bunch of power. Here we go. Plyometrics. More power, possibly more impact. Jump squats. You've got split jumps. More power, a little more impact. You can always mix in pulsating squats and split squats. You've got burpees. You've got lateral bench hops. I don't have a bench here. Okay, you can hop here as well, right? A little more plyometric versus a ski hop. Remember, you can do those things, right? Keep going, keep going. You're 110 away. You've got standing scissors for mobility. You've got standing runners for mobility. You've got Jack LaLanne's for mobility. You have 1 minute to go. You've got abs. You can do sit-ups, reverse crunches, V-ups, right? Toe touches. Keep going, keep working. We're doing it for 3 minutes now. You're gonna do it for 2 minutes later, and you'll do it for 1 minute at the end of your workout. We have our 3 main circuits. We have that nice, good warm-up circuit, and here's the work, right? Keep going, 30 seconds to go. Let's go, let's go. It's only 3 minutes, and you're almost done. 20 more seconds. Oh yeah. Again, I'm just mixing them up just so you see all the things you could be doing. I don't want you to mix them as much as I am, but you definitely want to mix them up. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, and breathe. Cool off. Breathe, focus. Again, if you are able to bring that level of intensity, heart rate climbs, right? You could have erged or rode for 3 minutes. You got airdyne, right? You have the treadmill, run or walk, right? There's so many tools. When you're ready, we've got our triceps the way we did our biceps. 3 different triceps done twice, same number scheme. When you get to your quads, well, you can do the iso quads, sitting on something, ground or bench. You can have ankle weights on, or you can hold a weight between your feet. That's if you want the static motion quads. Only your knees are moving your quads. You could do stationary forward lunges or narrow squats, but I'm not going to show those very much, but I will talk about them again. When you're ready, set 1. 15 overhead triceps. 15. You can sit tall or stand tall on your 15 overhead triceps. Again, I'm going to focus more on the quads. There's less overall movements than the calves today because I wanted you to bring it down on the total choices. 15 overhead triceps. The next round will be less. I want to show you those iso quads. But again, if you do not want to sit on something, you could do narrow squats or stationary forward lunges. If you have ankle weights, that would be awesome. If you have a weight to hold between your feet, that would be awesome. Your quads are always 20. It's a little bigger motion than your calves. Okay? Iso quads. Well, you could sit on something. Whether you're going to hold on to something or not is up to you. You can hold on to underneath your legs because you're not doing V-ups. You could hold the bench or ground, but that does take a little bit away from your core, which is fine, right? Abs tight, core tight, breathe. Your quads are always 20. 5 sets of 20 like you had your calves. But today on our calves, we focused on all the different feet, legs, weight, things like that. The only downside about this circuit is you might be getting on and off the ground a couple times. That's okay. Round 1, 15 overhead triceps, 20 on your quads. Remember, I do prefer iso quads today, but if you want narrow squats or stationary forward lunges, you can. Round 2, 8 overhead triceps, and again, always 20 on your quads. 8 overhead triceps. We didn't do this exact workout back in May, I believe it was. Maybe I think it was early mid-May, but similar May workout. I don't go back and look at them, but I also know what you guys have done over the last several months, and there's always similar components by all means. I'm going to deny that. Round 2 is 8 on your overhead triceps. You won't do overhead triceps again. And again, your quads are always 20. You can hold your legs up. You can hold the bench or ground. You don't have to hold anything at all, but you're not doing V-ups. Single joint motion exercises are also termed as static exercises. Only one joint is moving, and technically one muscle is working. But when you add the word iso core, you're working your abs, your core, and now your quads. You could sit on a quad extension machine, you would have way less core, a lot more quads. If you're doing narrow squats or stationary forward lunges, that is a dynamic exercise, multi-joint motion, multi-muscle activation. So, I don't want to say they're harder, more things happen, but today your focus is on your quads, not all the things of a narrow squat and a stationary forward lunge. Round 3, you've got your 15 kickbacks. Get low, stay low, and kickbacks. 15 on your kickbacks. Here is your rows. I don't want rows. Keep your elbows up. Push, relax. Push, relax. Push, relax. And if you only have a couple set of weights and the reps are kind of low today, you could do 15 each side kickbacks if you're trying to maximize load. It just takes a little bit longer. Maybe on the 15 you do both hands, both arms, and on the 8 you can do 8 each side. Again, load, right? Maximize load. And that's either physical weight or time under tension. Round 3 was your 15 tricep kickbacks. Always 20 quads. You can only make it better with load. If you're able to hold a dumbbell between your feet, ankle weights on your legs, yes, sitting on the bench or ground, not holding on to something, you would engage your core more, but you'll also use your hips too. That's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm talking about your quads. The only way to get more quads would be to add weight. Again, stationary forward lunges, narrow squats are optional. We just do them all the time, right? And we have more exertion coming up after this circuit's over. Quads are always 20. Round 3 of the 15 tricep kickbacks, you have the 20 quads. Round 4, you've got the 8 tricep kickbacks. And again, always 20 quads. Push, relax, push, relax, push, and breathe. Get low, stay low, push, relax on your tricep kickbacks. Oh, yes, yes, that's work, okay? It can be slow work, right? Tempo is low. We're not going fast. Pace, it can be moderate. You might adjust it to what you would like to do today. When we get to those timed exertions, right? Pace high, tempo high. Right now it's not. After those 8 kickbacks, remember, I know it seems tedious. On the iso quads, it's a good position for you. Kind of like a V up, right? It's a good measurement for how are you feeling in general, right? I feel strong, I feel mobile, I feel engaged. Or, oh man, you know, it's been a while, my hips are tired. I got an achy back, right? So general fitness level, and then, hey, are you energized? Are you focused on this position? Iso quads. Ankle weights, or a ball, light ball, or a dumbbell between your foot, baby bottle. There's so many things. So many things. Don't go too fast. Round 4 is 8 on your triceps. Always 20 quads. And the last combo, you can do dips if you want to do dips on something, or you can do narrow push-ups. I've talked about them a lot. I haven't made you do them very much. Narrow push-ups, like it sounds like a narrow squat. Your feet are narrow, whether your legs straight or knees bent. In a narrow push-up, your hands end up under your chest and almost like under your ribs. Narrow push-ups are optional, and so are dips. 15 on either dips or narrow push-ups. You'll get a little bit of chest. You'll have your last 20 quads. Then you'll have 8 on your dips or kickbacks. And we're gonna crank it up again for a 2-minute thing, but you're not there yet. Round 5, 15 dips or narrow push-ups. Again, narrow push-ups, your hands are pretty dang narrow. Military push-ups, you basically have a diamond here, right? So there are a smidge difference as far as angle hand placement. After those 15 triceps, you're on your last set of quads. Again, I didn't say you can't do stationary forward lunges or narrow squats. If you feel like doing them, fine. Isometric, non-moving contraction core to go with your quad extension exercise. It looks like a V-up, it's not. You could hold your legs, you could hold the bench or ground, whatever you're sitting on. You don't have to hold anything at all. And all you do is bend and straighten your legs. In fact, I really want you to focus on just straightening your legs and then let them bend on their own, making it a quad pushing exercise. Yes, 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 yes. Woo, let's keep working, you guys. We're not done yet. Round 5 was a 15 dips or narrow push-ups. You had the 20 quads. Last set of your 8 dips or narrow push-ups. Last set, that'll be the end of the circuit. Remember, I hope I'm a little bit ahead of you. I might be a little more than I wanted to be on this recorded workout for all of you. Breathing, focusing, working, having a great time. You're focused on you right now. Again, I want to let everybody get caught up, right? You're going to clean up your space. You had that 15 dip or narrow push-up, your 20 quads. You had your 8 dip or narrow push-up. End of circuit. I'm going to start the timer here in a couple seconds. 2 minutes of work. Remember, you've got agility, plyometrics, mobility, and we're formally not doing abs today. So if you want to do abs, you can. Just make sure the tempo is moderate on your abs. I don't mind pace being high on your whole circuit, okay? Again, get your space ready. We do have one more circuit to go, and that would be shoulders and your hamstrings or glutes. Remember, I got ways to get you through that one. And then you'll have 1 minute of this at the end, okay? All right, I'm going to start the timer. Remember, it's okay if you're not ready. Push the pause button. Come back when you're ready. 2 minutes of work. You can run, row, bike, jump, scream, yell. 2 minutes. Ready? Set. Go. Again, agility, high knees, butt kicks, jumping jacks, bench taps, ski hops, plyometrics, jump, squat, split, jumps, burpees, lateral bench hops, skater hops. I forgot about those earlier, right? Skater hops is a little more plyometric-y than agility. Plyometrics, you have your load. You guys should be going, timer's going. You have your load, you add power, and it yields impact. Agility, you have your load, you don't displace it as much, you don't need to create as much power. You do have some impact, but they're normally quicker. Mobility is motion, movements. You're talking about a lot of joint motion, and that'll of course yield muscles elongating and contracting. There's your agility, your plyometrics, your mobility, and of course you could be on the ground for abs. 1 minute in, 1 minute to go. You're working, you're breathing. You came, you saw, you conquered, you defeated, you got it done. You got that love and feeling. Whoa, that love. It's really funny, actually. I've heard a lot of fitness instructors, how do you not have music? Well, legally I can't. If I put that sucker on YouTube and it's public, you better be paying for that music. And then number 2, your job is to listen to me. And with how we train, right? It's I'm talking a lot. I know music's great. You know, maybe you have music in your background and you're still able to hear me train. In 3, 2, 1, relax, breathe, focus, right? Walk around for a second. Take your time. Breathe. When you're ready, I didn't bring down my light dumbbells and I don't want to run over there and get them. You do need something a little bit lighter. And that could be wine bottles, milk jugs, and cans of soup, right? You need something a little bit lighter. We have our 3 different shoulder raises done twice. I did talk about it a little bit on Monday, saying we do it today. Our 3 different shoulder raises, same numbers, hamstrings and or glutes. You could do both legs, double leg, stiff-legged deadlifts. Remember, that is a smoother version of an RDL. An RDL is great if you have weight associated because it's power. You could do stiff-legged deadlifts. You could lay on the ground and do hip bridges. I'm not going to demo those very much because I know you can do them. Or you could do hamstring curls, which I will demonstrate on the ground. You just need something that can roll or slide. Okay? When you're ready, pretend I have dumbbells. I literally want your thumbs pointed up as you do 15 front raises. The thumb thing is so we put yourself in the best situation possible to get your deltoids. I want your anterior deltoid and a little pec minor on that 15 arms straight, thumbs up front raise. And you want to go at least eye height. I would like it if you went a little bit higher, but you don't have to go above your head. Okay? You don't have to go above your head. 15 thumbs up, arms straight, front raises. You can rest your hands. You've got combo 1, or sorry, all your combos. You've got stiff-legged deadlifts, which is the smooth version of RDLs. You've got RDLs, which is heavier, more load, more power on an RDL, so they're very similar. You can lay on the ground for hip bridges, and you can lay on the ground for hamstring curls. Now, I do want you to go at your own pace. That doesn't mean you go fast. 15 front raises, and then you have your hamstring curls, or Stiff-legged deadlifts or hip bridges. Here is that hamstring curl. You need something that can roll or slide. Here's the hip bridge. You stay there, and then you need something to roll or slide. This is a 40-pound medicine ball. You can use a basketball. You can use a stability ball. You can use anything that rolls or slides. You can have your socks on your floor. You can have a slider. There's sliders and gliders. You can have a towel, whatever can slide or roll on a hamstring curl. The only downside if you were to lay down is you got to get up and off the ground. Take your time. Round 1 was 15 front raise, 20 hamstring curls. Round 2 is 8 front raises. Remember, if you had a rack of dumbbells or easy weight changes, you would be able to change the weight. It's okay if you don't. Physical load is one way of adding load to the exercise, physical weight, or a little bit of time. Slow it down a little bit. Time under tension. 8 front raises, round 2. Always 20. Now I did say hamstrings. You are going to get glutes also, right? Your stiff-legged deadlifts, not technically straight-legged deadlifts. You are elongating those hamstrings, glutes, and good lower back. Don't do the row, that was the other day. And you stand tall with your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. If it's heavy, you have to load them up, and you're going to create some power. And that's an RDL. If it's not as heavy, it's a little slower, a little smoother. Again, I keep talking about stiff-leggeds, just like I kept talking about your calves earlier and your quads earlier. We don't do both legs stiff-leggeds very often. We normally do alternating stiff-leggeds. So a lot of times when I say it, people start doing the alternating ones. Yes, you can do hip bridges. We just do those a lot. Regular feet, wide feet, narrow feet, elevated feet, weight on your hips. Hamstring curls, right? You're in hip bridge position, and the ball rolls in and out, or the towel slides in and out, but you bend and straighten your legs. Round 2 is your 8 front raise and your 20 hamstring glutes. Round 3, lateral raise, the thumb thing. I want your thumbs pointed in front of you. Your elbows are slightly bent. They don't bend and straight. That's a bicep and a tricep. And again, try to get at least eye height. You're not going to get much higher on a lateral raise, but you want to get at least eye height. 15 lateral raises, and then you're on your 3rd set of hamstrings. People might start separating this circuit, and that's based on the exercises they're choosing. Stiff-legged deadlifts has a very long lengthening component. Hip bridges is a shorter motion, but you lay on the ground. Hamstring curls is kind of between the two, but you lay on the ground. You might have heavy weight, you might have light weight. You might want to be done. Round 3 is 15 lateral raise and then 20 hamstring curls. Remember, you're almost done. The end of this circuit, you just have to do one more minute of work. And again, if you didn't know what a hamstring curl was, I'm showing you again. Keep your butt up as you either roll in and out or you slide in and out. Bigger the ball, you do have more motion. However, that was a 40-pound medicine ball. Now, I'm not actually moving 40 pounds. I'm rolling 40 pounds. No rush. Your workout, your time. Round 3 was 15 lateral raise, 20 hamstring curls. Round 4 is your 8 lateral raise. Remember, if I am way ahead of you, just push the pause button, right? And I do apologize if that happened a couple times today. I'm well aware of different workout spaces, equipment you can use, mental spaces. Are you excited? Are you focused? Are you tired? Are you ready to go back to bed already? Round 4 is your 8 lateral raise and your 20 hamstrings again. You had 150 calves, you had 100 quads, you had 100 hamstrings, you had your 180 rep warm-up. You had your 72 exercises on your biceps, triceps, shoulders. And you have the 6 total minutes of work, exertion. You could have snuck some abs in there. Again, hamstrings. You're always going to get some glutes, or better yet, you should get some glutes because of what you're doing, right? You always want your hips to move and your glutes to turn on. We're just trying to focus on the hamstrings a little bit more. You have a hamstring curl machine at the gym. Most people don't like the position. GHDs, glute hammy developer, right? Lots of things. Round 4 is 8 on the lateral raise. That is your 4th set of 20 hamstrings. Lots of motion. Notice I'm slowing it down. I want to make sure you guys are kind of in the same spot. You might have to time yourself at the end, or again, push pause until you get to the time part. Round 5. Thumbs are down. You get low, you stay low, and you reach out. Thumbs are down. That way you get your rear deltoid teres major, teres minor. Thumbs down, reach out, rear raise for 15 reps. Notice I'm in the same position as you did stiff-legged deadlifts, as you did your rows, as you did your kickbacks. You get low with your core, thumbs are down, and you reach out on your 15 rear raises. When you get done with your 15 rear raises, you're on your last set of your hamstrings. You'll have the 1 more set of your deltoids, and then the 1 more minute of work. So I hope you're feeling it by now. Round 5, 15 rear delt raises. You're on your 20 stiff-legged deadlifts. Your knees are ever so slightly bent. They are not called straight-legged deadlifts. Your hips are moving a ton. You're always going to use your glutes when that happens. You get low, and then you breathe and stand tall with your hamstrings. And remember, you're going to get some glutes. You can lay on the ground for hip bridges if you really want to. You can lay on the ground and do hamstring curls if you really want to. Round 5 was 15 shoulders, 20 on your hamstrings. Not saying you should be there. When you get there, your last set of shoulders is your 8 rear delt raises. Arms are straight, thumbs are pointed down, and I want you to reach out, not necessarily back. 8 on your rear delt raises. I'm going to give everybody about a minute, and I'll start that last minute of timed work. Again, you can make it agility, plyometrics, mobility, or abs. 1 minute, we'll start that. Breathe and focus. Breathe and focus. Work, work, work. Now remember, tempo, that is associated to actually movement. Pace is associated to your rest. Fitness is adjusting the weight so all of those things can happen based on the intent of the workout. Again, if you need to push pause, awesome, that's fine. You have 1 more thing to do. Make sure you get down to the 15, the 20, and then the 8. I'm going to start that timer here in a second. 1 minute. Agility, plyometrics, mobility, or abs. Ready? Set, and go. You've got 1 minute. Now, I know you're working, right? You're running, you're jumping, you're squeezing, you're doing what you got to do. What that doesn't mean when the alarm goes off is you push the stop button and you run and sit down to a meeting. That's not the idea. Cool off for a second, right? Pat yourself on the back. Go get some nutrition, right? Go do those good things. Agility is quicker, quieter, a little bit of power, not very much, and a little bit of impact, but not as much as the plyometric. Plyometrics are more power, more impact. Both of them you are moving load. One is you move load more than the other. Mobility, joints are moving, muscles are working. Abs. I want you to finish this thing. You've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathe. And breathe. Now remember, you might have pushed pause a couple times. Everybody has different tempos and paces. I try to control those things. You had a lot of work done today. Go get some hydration. Go get some nourishment. Cool off before you go to work. Have a great day. Thanks for working hard.